Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Monomyth Diaries, a podcast where ordinary people get to share their hero's journey. I'm Mandy.
And I'm Karen, and we'll be your hosts.
We'll discover powerful insights, critical moments of growth, and much more.
Thanks for joining us. We all have a monomyth to share, and someone out there needs to hear it.
So welcome back, Kamela, to the Monomyth Diaries podcast. We're so glad to have you join us again.
Yes, I'm excited.
For our listeners, this is Mandy's absolute favorite part of our discussion, is talking about what we call the boons, the gifts, talking about boons and gifts in your life. And I love that you have so many tools in your toolbox now, and how, you've really restructured everything to kind of reflect that. We talked about the monomyth that you had to go on. I like to call it the gauntlet. What strengths have you developed through overcoming your challenges?
Well, people. I understand people. I think that being in so many different situations back to back and having moved so many times and early on has made me understand that everybody has the same fears. Everybody wants to be loved. And that as humans, we have these core things that make us human, and they're the same across the board. I don't care where you're from or how you were raised or what you've been through, what you haven't been through. We all want to be loved and we all want to be validated and accepted. And so I think that's been one of my strengths is reading people really well, understanding the human nature of people.
What about your relationships today? What are they like compared to what your relationships used to be like?
Oh my gosh. Good one. So I realized, I think it was that same year that we kind of talked about where I turned 28 on the 28th. I was really wanting better friends. And I wanted friends that I could look up to. So I wanted friends that had good jobs, that had houses, that had hobbies, that went on vacations. Because I went on a summer vacation with a girlfriend, and it was, oh my gosh, it was amazing, you guys. It was, we got a penthouse rental in Florida, and we're up there in the morning working out, watching the sunrise, and then having good food and all these things. And I was like, you do this every summer? And she was like, yes, since I was a kid. So that was kind of the first thing where I was like, okay, I need to surround myself with people that kind of have that in their lives, because I had never had it. And then when I started praying for better friends, they just started dropping down in my life like flies. And it was amazing. And it was so beautiful. And so I started evaluating my friendships with a few questions. And every time I would hang out with people, I would say, okay, did this fill my cup up? Or do I feel drained? Or do I feel full? And so reading my emotions and reading my energy after my outings, because as you can tell, I'm very social and I love people and I have so many different friend groups. So I was like, okay, so I need to really see if this is beneficial. Then I got so driven in my career. It wasn't even just about how I felt. It was about, okay, have they provided value? Are they the kind of people that I can go to for advice when I'm struggling with my business? Are they the kind of people that are going to support my businesses? Because I have two, right? And so then those were the questions that I started asking myself. And so the people that I'm not hanging out with anymore, I think you know the answer, right? And so it was just, very similar to what you said, Karen, about learning to give yourself permission to put yourself first and take care of your oxygen mask. Me, it was really making sure when you run two businesses, you don't have time to just chill and hang out. So I was like, okay, I have 2 hours in 2 weeks from this time to this time. Who is the best person for me to spend my time with? And so I started seeing time as money. I was so busy with the teaching. I knew I would never quit that. And then I was also so busy with this new career and new firm I was at that I was like, okay, I want to feel good and I want to be surrounded by people that I look up to. So most of my friends are more successful than I am. They're healthier than I am. They're more fit than I am, because that's what I want. And so my world now, if I have a problem, I know who to call. If I need support, I know who to call. My friends are there for me, whether I'm happy or sad.
What other fruits has your journey produced?
I love that. First of all, I love fruit. So I'm like, okay, let's talk about fruits. So the fact that I wake up with a different mindset and it starts from as soon as I open my eyes. And a little tip, and I've told a few people this before when I was out networking, my alarm clock says, God, I invite you into my day. It's time to shine. So as soon as I see that at 4:45, and I'm like, that's true. It's a new day, right? So the fruits are that ability of getting out of bed at 5 a.m. when nobody wants to get out of bed at 5 a.m. Okay. It's a mindset thing. And then being able to have the flexibility in my career to where I can go walk my dog and do my mindset stuff. Then you fast forward, I go to the gym, I work out, you are what you eat. So I eat way better than I ever have. I also work out, as much as I can. And I try to change it up, right? I'm doing things at the gym I never thought I'd be doing, which is awesome because our bodies need change, right? Then I get to work and the fruits are being surrounded by such a phenomenal team. My mentors, they're always like, Kamela, I just wish you could see in yourself what we see in you, and you'll get there. And then it doesn't end there, right? As you know, I teach piano. I mean, that is my heart. That is my soul. My students are like, I don't think they know how much I love them. So that is such a blessing to be able to have found something that I truly love. You guys, I never grew up saying I'm going to teach piano. You know what else is amazing? When I go to the grocery store and I'm complaining about how expensive it is, I'm like, I can pay for it. And I'm so grateful. So much gratitude comes into how far I've come. And then the best part is that now I actually worked with it. Oh, I didn't even talk about this. I worked with a hypnotherapist for a while. She's amazing. She's in the Houston area if anyone's interested. What I really, really loved about her was that we went for lunch and I had no plan of working with her, but we just talked and we connected and y'all know it's natural. It's how it goes. So I worked with her for a while and she actually does the hypnotherapy work with you and then gives you recordings to kind of listen to before you fall asleep. So I've been doing a lot of work with my subconscious as well, because there's some things that are so deeply rooted that just normal therapy didn't work for me at that point. So this is the first time in my life officially where I sleep through the night. And I fall asleep telling God, thank you. And I'm just like, thank you, God, for such an amazing day. Can't wait till tomorrow. Even if it was the worst absolute day ever, I go to sleep with so much gratitude. And I think that those are the fruits. That's true like living right there. When you can go to sleep and you're like, oh, this fan feels amazing. I can afford my electricity, like cooling sheets. I'm like, cool, I'm clean, I'm fresh. I can afford running water. Like I think about these things every day. And so I fall asleep with gratitude. I wake up with gratitude throughout the day. You know, we forget sometimes to pray or forget to keep God at the center of everything, but I'm surrounded by people and, you know, things will always happen to where I'm just redirected to love, redirected to faith. That's part of like the prayers I say, redirect me to love, redirect me to faith. And I go to sleep sometimes and when I wasn't so much doing that, I'll be like, okay, I return to faith, I return to love, I return to trust. And I say these things before bed. So it's an all day thing. The fruits are all day. And then, you know, I always said 2025 would be the year of travel. And I think I'm on like my 5th trip this year. It's happening. So yeah, I'm just doing all the things I've been wanting to do for years now. It's happening. So it's like taking that time to celebrate.
You're so young and you're so wise.
Hey, I have my moments. I have my moments sometimes where I allow my reactiveness to get the better of me. They do happen less and less and less, which is amazing. And thank you for that. You know, there's so much pain in going into this version of yourself. That's like the true version. Like I've lost friends. Some people I just don't understand them anymore. And I know that it's not their fault. And so I have to work on that like judgment side. And I'm like, they're just not in the same journey as me right now. And that is perfectly okay. So that's where I think my age still shows, right? Because it's like I want everybody in my circle to be on the same page, and that's just not going to happen. And I have to be okay.
I feel like even in my age, that's still a truth.
Yeah, no, and I love it. And I think that that's the reason why I'm still here living with my mom. We can really, really learn together and heal together. And that's been amazing because, you know, I do got to say big kudos to myself. There were times where she said, hey, thanks. I can see you growing and I can see you doing this work and it's awesome. And that's huge. And I think that us still sticking together after all these years and after all the torment that happened in my family, it's awesome. Yeah. And I want to be that for her, you know? And I also benefit from living here. It's not just a one-way street. We now have a home that we both are safe in and comfortable in and happy and proud about. And that's amazing. It's my first time, but it's also her first time. And she's 70. Yeah, she waited even longer, you know? So it's been really, really awesome. Like she can do whatever the heck she wants. And I'm like, no one's judging you. Just be you.
Yeah, everybody's on their own timeline, you know?
Exactly.
So, how do you find ways to give back to your community and share what you've learned with other people?
I try and host as many free things as I can. It's just so beautiful because I ended up falling into the financial industry. And one thing that's missing in most of our lives is financial education and literacy. Like who sits you down to tell you what to do and to explain to you why? Not a lot of people have that. It has been so phenomenal that God has guided me into this career because I can do that every single day. And I can provide value to people's businesses, families, decision makings, plans for the future and they actually work. And that is incredible. So I say professionally, I'm able to give back by what I do. Then more on like a deeper sense, the piano teaching. It's a lost art to sit down and play songs, memorize songs and perform. Like not a lot of people are doing things like that. So whether it's music or just any performing arts, I see that that is my way of giving back. And I think that the way that I teach, I made it really, really my own. Either we have way too harsh teachers that are just mean, or we have some that just don't care and they're way too easy. So I think that I kind of fall in the middle. So I feel like that's a way for me to give back. And then honestly, it's more of like a day-to-day thing. I'm just such a joy to be around. I am.
I was going to bring that back in because at one point you mentioned your frequency. And I think that people around you pick up on your frequency.
Yeah.
And you're definitely giving that to the world for sure.
Well, I mean, come on. I bring such a different energy to financial planning. You know, people are going through stuff. It's stressful times. Like I give back by just simply being myself, because if I can brighten up someone's day, I do it. For a long time, I was chasing, and now it's truly more about attracting and having that faith that I am exactly where I need to be, who I need to be, and that's different. So am I, starting charities and, funding things? Not yet. But will I one day? Absolutely. So I think that giving back starts with yourself. I got the compliment yesterday that I'm a really good driver, and it made me really happy because I think I'm giving back to the community by not driving the way that I used to. Because I'm just chill now. One of the first tattoos I got was Soham. It is a Hindu meditation where you inhale so and exhale hum. And you inhale the truth, who you are, your true frequency, your true energy, and you exhale all the BS around you that we let affect ourselves. None of this stuff matters. What matters is love, trust, and respect. And that's the best way you can give back, I think.
Finances is so personal and intimate, and one of the biggest stressors is not having enough, right? And then it leads into all sorts of negative behaviors, and I was just thinking about what you shared in your background and upbringing, and then here you are, like, you could sort of understand a family that may be coming to you for financial help. You also have that energy to be able to be like, I know where you're coming from. Like, I know what that's like. And I'm here to equip you with tools to relieve that stress. And I also was thinking about how financial knowledge in many ways can be a privilege, because if that's not passed on from your family, like if you're born into a family that doesn't know anything about generational wealth or anything or what to do with wealth, and then I'm sad to say, I know families, that is their real life situation where like throwing more money at it doesn't help them because they don't know what to do with money. And then it perpetuates a cycle of fear and scarcity and all that stuff. And then you get all these destructive behaviors. So I'm thinking about like your energy, and that coupled with knowledge, so needed.
Working on my relationship with money. I actually have the person who introduced me to the person who hired me to where I'm at now. So it's all these people had just such a huge role in where I ended up. She told me, she was like, you need to start writing love letters to money. And so I started doing that, you guys. The first one was like, where have you been my whole life? And then it started becoming like, I see you. I know you're over there, right? And then it just like started changing. And then then it was like a love, like passionate love with money. And so same thing. I was talking once about what I do, and it became a whole conversations about God and mindset. And then I just recently spoke at a Mommy and Me luncheon. I was like, I'm not going to talk about what I do. That's going to bore people. We did vision work. I made these girls, okay, in 10 years, where are you? Are you going on vacation? Do you own your business? Do you have your first big girl job? Like, envision it. And then with moms, it was, you had goals growing up. What happened? Where are you at now? How does that make you feel? And I didn't even talk about my firm or anything, because I was like, ultimately, it's a mindset game. Yeah. And we all have money stories. Like, we all do. Gabby Bernstein talks about this. Joy. We forget about joy. Joy needs to be in the middle of everything. And I think that it's scary to talk about money, and it's scary to talk about your future and about retirement. And so I think that my energy, it makes sense as to why I ended up here in this field for now. Thank you.
So how do you hope your Monomyth will uplift others?
I mean, I hope it'll give people the courage to go after what they want. And I hope it just encourages people to know that, like, even when you're in those darkest moments, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And it typically starts with making you yourself the light. The work is hard. It's gut wrenching. I mean, we've all fallen asleep crying every night. We've all hated the growth process. We've all asked God, like, why does this have to be so hard? But then if you just push through, and then you're like, oh, it's still hard, but it's not as hard, right? You know, that whole saying, learn how to dance in the rain. That's really what it is. Things don't ever get better. You just get better and more resilient. And the beautiful thing is, my hope is that people don't have to go through as much to get to where I'm at, like, happy, right? Like, I'm so happy. I'm happy all the time, like all day, every day. Like, it's just an inner joy, inner being thing. I hope that people don't have to go through that much to get there. Yeah. And it's just, don't lose sight of gratitude. And so that's what I hope that this Monomyth episode with you guys shows. Like, even through all these horrible times, I was still grateful, right? That I was in America, living a better life.
Well, you're a testament to the hard work works.
It works. It's like, would you rather be miserable and just stay stuck, or learn? If the work works, do it.
Well, we have one more last question for you. Every episode, we end with an attitude of gratitude. It's an opportunity for you to highlight any significant individuals that you want to show gratitude towards that maybe have been a big part of your monomyth. Any heroes, anybody that you want to give a shout out to?
Oh my gosh, yes, so many. There's like different spheres, right? In the professional world, Katrina, Deidre, and Jen Marie, they all three were active in their role in me ending up at the firm that I'm at. Then on the more personal note, honestly, my mom, obviously, I have to give her a shout out because, you know, like, we're a family system, we're a unit. And I needed a place to really, really grow and cocoon, right? Before I started flying out. And that was home with her. So if she hadn't had this home, that wouldn't have happened. And then on the more personal side with my friends, I have two besties. They're now dating. So exciting. But Avery and Jess have shown me what true friendship means. Anyone in the networking space that has been a mentor, I'm very, very grateful for all of them. And then to my team for seeing me before I did. So yeah, shout out to everybody, really. Even you guys. I appreciate y'all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, we truly appreciate you taking the time to share your monomyth, to open up, be vulnerable. All those things take courage, and we truly appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been great. I enjoyed it.
Kamela, your dedication to healing and growing from your past is truly inspiring. Your commitment to self-improvement, forgiveness, and positivity is a powerful example of transformation.
Thank you for sharing these critical parts of your monomyth with us today.
Thank you for joining us on the Monomyth Diaries. If this episode resonates with you or someone you know, we'd love for you to share it and spread the inspiration.
Don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube to stay connected.
We'd appreciate if you could take a moment and rate and review the podcast. It helps us reach more people with stories of transformation and growth.
You can visit us at monomythdiaries.com or text us directly from the show notes to reach out and keep the conversations going.
Until next time, heroes, let's journey together through our monomyths.